Military leaders from Thailand and Cambodia say a ceasefire that went into effect at midnight appears to be holding. This after initial reports of violations along the border. The two countries agreed to the deal at talks in Malaysia following days of deadly clashes along their disputed frontier. Hundreds of thousands of others fled their homes while dozens died.
Shaking on peace. After 5 days of deadly fighting along the Thai-Cambodian border, leaders from both sides, hosted by Malaysia's Prime Minister, have agreed to lay down arms.
Thank you very much, Excellency.
Both Cambodia and Thailand reached a common understanding as follows. 1. An immediate and unconditional ceasefire tonight. This is a vital first step towards a de-escalation and the restoration of peace and security.
The fighting forced more than 200,000 people to flee their homes and claimed dozens of lives. At a shelter for Thai evacuees, relief replaced days of fear, many hoping that the worst border clashes in over a decade are finally over.
I'm happy about that and feeling a bit relieved. We normal people who had to leave home would all be happy to be able to go back home. We miss our home. I also think about our soldiers at the front line. I want them to be safe and have a good sleep like us.
Across the border in Cambodia, many shared the sense of relief.
I hope that Thailand will agree to stop the fight for good. No more conflicts. No more fighting each other.
Optimistic, but cautious. Families on both sides are waiting to see if this fragile truce would truly hold.
And DW correspondent Kenya Winanti joins us now from the Cambodian side of the border. Kenya, shortly after the truce was announced, Thailand accused Cambodia of breaking the ceasefire. Where do we stand now?
Yeah, obviously the Cambodian government has rejected that they continued the border conflict after the truce made in Malaysia yesterday. A military representative even stressed that they strictly followed the agreement that both countries' leaders has reached. And they also held a military representative meeting this morning, and it has been quiet since that. But, you know, it's an old song. It has been going on like that since the escalation started a few days ago. These officials have been throwing accusations towards each other. So, truce that made in Malaysia yesterday seems pointless for civilians, especially those who fled their homes, like the ones I met in this camp in Cambodia.
Yeah, what's the situation there? Are people hopeful? Are they starting to return home?
Yeah, so in Thailand, people are starting to return home after the truce. But here in Cambodia, as you can see where I'm standing now, was basically an open space inside a temple complex near the border of Cambodia and Thailand. But here you can see tens of thousands of families built makeshift homes as they fled their homes near the border in fear of another or repeated fighting between the two countries. And here they do not have proper sanitary, they don't have proper facilities. Most of them are farmers and they fled with their tractors. It's not an ideal situation, but it is the safest or the most ideal that they can afford because they don't feel safe to go back home.
The starting point for this latest escalation was a decades-old border conflict. Now that we have a ceasefire, what about efforts to find a truly lasting solution to this dispute?
Yeah, so despite the dispute that you mentioned before today, both countries still held talks between military representatives this morning, and then they concluded with three agreements. The first one is like the truce. They agreed to basically strictly follow the ceasefire. And the second one, they agreed to increase communication between representatives of both countries. And if any problem persists, and then this is the third conclusion, they agree to basically settle between themselves in talks with representatives of both countries. The Cambodian government especially has called on international observers to basically monitor the ceasefire efforts. But whatever the officials agreed, or whatever the official talk about, what matters is basically security, or security for the people, especially those who fled their homes, like the ones in this camp. Because if those people in power keep fighting each other, the ones who are suffering are the powerless ones.
There's Kenya, Winanti in Cambodia. Thank you so much for your reporting.